With the conclusion of the Light and Dark saga, Destiny 2 has shifted from seasons to episodes, with the goal being to tell standalone stories that players can experience without needing to play them consecutively, as that was how Destiny's seasons were previously constructed as a serialized story. This first episode contains a story being told about the Vex on Nessus. The Vex are for sure the least used villain used throughout Destiny 2's history, and for sure also the most terrifying as they can bend time to their needs. Multiple times, however, as paracausal beings, we Guardians have ended their attempts to end our existence. But now a new voice seems to have emerged after the defeat of the Witness, an echo that escaped the Traveler after the defeat of the First Knife has landed on Nessus and is controlling the Vex. Let's talk about how this first week of episode Echoes has gone. So, we land on Nessus and meet up with Failsafe to assess what these compelled Vex are up to. Also, poor Failsafe, she hasn't had any contact since D2 Vanilla, and it's awesome to see how after so long Bungie actually changed up Nessus, and Failsafe has finally gotten attention. And side note, whoever's her voice actress has been nailing Failsafe. She's slowly becoming one of my favorite characters in Destiny, and man, it's not too hard to do that, but kind of hard because there are a lot of intriguing characters. But anyway, let's get back to the story. The Vex are singing the same tune but on a different key. A new voice has risen. The voice has some goal that involves Nessus, and outside of promotional stuff, we really haven't gotten that much info on what is behind this new Vex order, so to speak. We know from said promotional videos that this entity appears to be more human than anything else we've faced up to this point, other than maybe the Witness, even though the Witness is a conglomerate of multiple humanoid things. And all the lore that has been gathered to this point seems to confirm that perhaps the multiple copies of Ishtar Collective members that were inside the Vex network may be involved to some extent with this new Vex unit. I will refrain from mentioning who may be behind this new Vex order, but let's just say it's someone that we've crossed paths with before. That really, I guess, kind of gives it away if you know anything about Destiny lore. But now that we've gotten some story developments out of the way, we can talk about this episodic model, which, is very similar to the seasonal model. We got a new story mission at the beginning of this episode, a new seasonal activity, which seems to be okay, and something that's really cool, we did get a new secret mission, which I won't talk too much about, so you can hopefully go experience it yourself, as most of this episodic stuff isn't even a week old yet. So all in all, not really bad for a first week when you consider how much stuff we got with the final shape. But I still would have liked to see, at least personally like to see, more of a front-loaded drop of story content in general to allow players to do this episode at their own pace instead of being forced to wait. One of the larger issues with how these stories are structured is the waiting. Most people just ignore this story content until the next major expansion and play all the seasons in one go, or episodes, right? Why not give them the chance to do that for the first episode, or at least play everything up until the conclusion of this first episode? Maybe we have to wait for the end, maybe that's worse. I get that Bungie does need a reason for people to come back each week because this is a live service game and they need people coming back, otherwise it just doesn't look good. And, that is likely the reason why we'll never get something like that. Hopefully I'm wrong, and the new act system, as the story is, or at least the episodes are cut up into acts instead of, just being drawn out over 8 months, or not 8 months, 3 or 4 months is usually how long a normal season is. I'm sorry, I'm going off of Season of the Wish length. But yeah, usually 3 or 4 months is how long this story is drawn out. So maybe that will allow for something to be implemented like I'm proposing, a bit more of a front-loaded story. But that's why this is a first impressions video, because the episode still has a long way to go, and I'll save final judgment for when it has concluded. And as for this video, that's pretty much it for now. There isn't too much to go off of, and if you're wondering about the loot so far, there really isn't that much to shout home about. I'm super excited for the solar rocket sidearm, but even that is time gated right now. So anyways, leave a positive rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.